These are even scarier because they look so real. Here are my top 10 found footage horror films. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, and this is a place where quite often I talk to you about Stephen King, or once a week I recommend good books to you in my book club. But in this particular spin-off series, I talk to you about horror movies. Yes, this is my Silver Scream section of my channel. And as you know, in this video, I'm going to be counting through, ranking my top 10 found footage horror movies. And as always with these kind of rankings, I would love to know your favourite found footage things as well. So do get involved in the comments and let me know your choices. Now, why found footage? Well, frankly, why not? I think it's a fun genre, and it's one of those that admittedly can be very bad, but when it's done well, can be hugely effective. So what I'm going to do is give you a spoiler-free top 10 ranking of my favourite found footage horror films and just talk a little bit about each one. And like I say, I want to know your choices as well. Now, before we get into it, I am aware that I have some blind spots when it comes to found footage. Much as I love the genre, there's only so much time in the world, and there are a few classic found footage films that I have not watched yet. So, the following will not appear on my list because I haven't watched them yet, but I'm very excited to hear from you if you think I should be checking them out. So, the found footage films I have not watched yet are Wreck, Hell House LLC, Cloverfield, the VHS series, and Cannibal Holocaust. So, if there's any of those I should bump up to the top of my to-be watch list, do get involved in the comments and tell me. Okay, I think that's enough preamble. Let's get into it. Here are my 10 favourite found footage horror movies. Right at 10, I'm starting with Unfriended, a movie from 2014 about a bunch of teens who have a classmate who had died by suicide, and they're all on Skype having a chat, and somehow that dead classmate comes back into the chat and things start going awry. A really simple concept, and kind of one you almost see the end coming, but really effectively done. And one of the first movies I'd seen that was entirely recorded through screen recordings. And that's something that will come up later in my list. But I just found it to be really effective. And, you know, what would have been a very bog standard, easy to shrug off slasher if it were filmed conventionally, it just becomes more engrossing as found footage. And it really captures cyberbullying and how all that stuff works. The anxieties and the obsession of teens who are so online that they can't simply just log off when they see things going badly. I don't know, it just really worked for me. Quite of its time, and yes, I know it spawned a sequel which I haven't watched, but fun and one that has stuck in the memory. So that's my number 10. Now my number 9 is possibly a bit of a cheat. It's My Little Eye, which I know is not entirely shot as found footage. It is shot more like an early noughts slasher, but it has found footage as a plot point, I guess. So that's a movie where it's basically a reality TV show where a bunch of strangers are trapped in a cabin in the woods and they're all going slowly crazy. And we realise over the course of the movie that this reality show that they're part of has far more sinister elements than perhaps those people expected when they signed up as contestants. I remember watching this movie in a sleepover back when, not long after it came out, back in the early noughts, and it just really worked for me. There's one shot in particular where the fourth wall is broken, and it just chilled my spine the moment it happened. Gets a bit silly towards the end, and like I say, it's not pure found footage, but I think the way it weaves the found footage elements in is brilliantly done. And again, very of its time, probably doesn't hold up as well as I remember it holding up, but I don't care. This is my list, and My Little Eye is number 9. At number 8, We're All Going to the World's Fair. Now, I'll admit I wanted to love this way more than I did. It's very slow paced. It's very quiet. and you perhaps don't get as much of an explanation as you might want. But it's captivating all the same. And there's something, while it's not out and out terrifying the whole time, there is something voyeuristic about it that is unnerving. And it's got this hypnotic element to it that, I don't know, it just feels ever so slightly wrong and ever so slightly like you shouldn't be watching it, and a little bit dangerous. So, not what I was expecting, and I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but it still made my list, and I still think it's a powerful piece of found footage filmmaking. Okay, at number 7, we're going for Deadstream, which is a tale of a disgraced YouTuber doing this live stream in a haunted house and things going terribly wrong. And it's kind of a horror comedy found footage as well, and it is pretty amusing. It is quite a fun watch. What I like about it is the use of multiple cameras and the way it is treated as a live stream, like you were just watching this live stream. All of those things are done really well, and it allows it to sort of, I don't know, just breathe and be its own thing. And the special effects are limited, but they work. And again, it's just one of those ones where you are in and you feel like you are watching a live stream, and you're questioning the guy's decision making. And I don't know, there are moments that are just really, really scary, and some really funny moments as well. It is one that I had put off watching for ages just because I just didn't get around to it. But I really, really did have a good time when I finally got to it. And yes, as a YouTuber, makes me think I'm not doing any live streams in any haunted houses anytime soon. Okay, so just great bit of planning from me here. I've realised my top 10 is actually a top 9. So all of the numbers we've done so far, add 1 to them, which is probably underlining the fact that I've not watched enough found footage horror films. If you've got any other suggestions, do let me know. So at number 5 then, in my updated rankings, it's Paranormal Activity. This is the only Paranormal Activity movie I've watched so far. I've heard so many bad things about all the sequels that I'm not in a rush to watch them. But the original has a lot of charm to it. And again, watching it, I watched it for the first time this calendar year, 2025. And you have to take that in context, watching something from 2007 that was such a low budget and that was quite different at that time. So yes, it doesn't stand up quite as well in 2025, but it is still a scary film. And there's something that gets under my skin about like security camera footage and night vision camera footage. And there are a couple of moments in this where you just can't work out what's going on, but it's captured on that sort of camera. So you sort of believe it's real. I think the problem I have with Paranormal Activity is I don't really like the 2 main characters, but the premise of the film and the scares are enough to pull you through. And yeah, that house, something wrong with it, isn't there? Really is. Okay, at number 4, Ghostwatch, a British institution, and one that I can't believe I waited so long to watch. I've only watched it in the last year or so. I feel like, I guess I was probably too young to watch it live when it happened. But God, what a brilliant piece of television. So for those of you who don't know, Ghostwatch was a TV show in Britain in the 90s, a one-off Halloween special TV that was pitched as like this live look at a haunted house where people could call in, and it was packed full of renowned TV celebrities at the time. So you had it hosted by Michael Parkinson, who hosted a bunch of massive shows in the 90s. And with him at the helm, it feels legitimate. It feels like this is a real paranormal investigation, and stuff starts going wrong. And it all blows up into this huge climax that everyone has bought into, and it is incredible. And it's one of those that has almost got an urban legend status around it because it was put out there as just this real thing, and it scared the shit out of people. And, well, yeah, lots of complaints, and it has earned this iconic status. And it basically never gets repeated on the BBC, but it has had like a DVD release and a digital release and stuff. And it is very of its time. It's from 1992, and it's quite long. So a lot of it is just like watching British TV from 1992, and not just because of all the celebrities in it. But it is worth watching for two absolutely iconic shots that are over like that. They are very much blink of an eye, but you see them and they get under your skin, and you're there thinking, like, how did they do this as a joke on TV budget in the early 90s? Like, hugely effective. Like, you don't see the zipper at the back of the costume or anything like that. These two moments are just incredible pieces of horror movie making, and I was blown away by how much I loved it. Truly. Okay, number 3. Another one that some might argue isn't pure found footage, but I'm going with it. It's Late Night with the Devil from a couple of years ago, and starring David Dalmatian as the chat show host who is airing a Halloween special of his show. Of course, it all goes wrong. Now, I think let's take the criticism out straight away. Aside from the fact that they use generative AI for some of the background pieces of artwork, yeah, that was a bad decision and it backfired on them slightly. But yeah, I'm sure most of Hollywood is using generative AI now and nobody's batting an eyelid. So there we go. The bit that I didn't like was where we get the behind the scenes stuff when they go to commercial break, and that takes you out of the fact that you're watching this lost episode of a late night TV show from the 70s. You don't need to see that for it to be effective. But the stuff when we're on air, so good. And just an incredibly fun movie, but also one that is unnerving and unsettling. Like possession stuff, when treated as this found footage approach, I don't know, it's just extra unsettling than if you're just watching a standard movie that is a possession story. Even knowing that it's fiction, like, this is so well done that it does feel real. And, like I say, super unnerving and super entertaining as well. So, yeah, I think it was my favourite horror movie of 2023, in fact, thinking back to my rankings. So, yeah, might have to go and watch it again sometime. Maybe this Halloween. Okay, at number 2, we are going for The Blair Witch Project. The movie that has given us, 25 years since of varying quality found footage films. But this is the one that really showed what was capable with it and really showed how you can make these things scary. So you probably know the premise of the Blair Witch Project. It's a bunch of amateur filmmakers going out to try and tell this story. They supposedly went out into the woods in 1994 and were never seen again, but their camera footage was recovered. And it's got some truly iconic scenes and a spectacular ending that, once you spend like 1 second thinking about it and remembering what they've said elsewhere in the film, truly haunting. But it is so well done. And the way it was not just treated as a found footage film, but it was presented as real. There was this viral marketing campaign, basically, viral for 2000 anyway, that missing people posters, like the cast in there were complete unknowns, so there was no way of tracing like if they were actors or not. And it was just all presented as being real, and it was very rough and ready in how it was shot and edited together. Very low key in terms of effects, and they really knuckle down on making it scary and disorientating and discombobulating, and it just works. And it's been parodied, it's been used as a launch pad for loads of other things since, but go back and watch it and you'll appreciate just what an incredible piece of filmmaking it is. Like, their sequels and requels, yeah, maybe less so, but the original does not mess around. Okay then, my number 1 pick when it comes to found footage horror movies is Host. Like, just such a clever piece of filmmaking. So this was done through necessity. It was done in the pandemic, and it's the story of a seance done over Zoom, set during the pandemic. And it is all filmed on Zoom. And if memory serves me correct, it was all filmed like during the pandemic, using social distancing, all of that kind of stuff. It's only an hour long. Oh my God, it is so scary. It's a real heart-thumping ride. And it's just an incredibly powerful piece of filmmaking. And the effects are incredible. Like, considering it's all done on webcams, just so good. There's some iconic scenes in there, some iconic deaths. And I mean, in an hour, it packs more scares into that hour than pretty much all of these films on the rest of the list do. And I love these other films, but Host is just so eminently watchable, and again feels very real. Like, the acting and the dialogue is really genuine. The scares, as I say, are terrific, and it's one of those films that I will just watch every Halloween now. Particularly, as I say, it's only an hour. And just all of the fine details, right down to the end credits. I just love everything about it. And I think it is peak found footage. So it's my favourite. There we go. My top 9 found footage horror movies. So there we go. Not a top 10, a top 9. I should have checked my notes before we started recording, but hey, it's my channel, what we're going to do. Those are my favourite found footage horror movies, with that massive caveat that I've not watched a bunch of really well-respected ones. Let me know which ones of those I should prioritise, and let me know what other found footage films out there you think I would like. Now, if you come this far, I'm going to do a couple of quick plugs. Everything I'm going to mention here is linked in the description, but the things I like to plug are my award-winning collection of short stories, Once More Around the Sun from 2024, my Stephen King trivia book, my range of Stephen King themed band shirts, and if you like what I'm doing on this channel, you can become a constant viewer, you can become a member, get extra exclusive content, loads of other fun things, and support me directly. And if none of that sounds doable, that's fine. Watching stuff here is a massive help, and hey, why not tell a friend, and make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, cool. That's it. Found footage ranking done, at least for now, until I watch a bunch more. So take care, stay spooky, and I will see you very soon.